Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. In today's video, I'm going to install a shower base. Now, this is similar to the previous shower base that I installed on the channel already. There's a couple differences though. This shower base is upstairs in a house, not on a concrete slab like the previous shower base was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the existing trap arm instead of running a trap arm the way I wanted it to be, like in the previous video that I made. One other difference with this shower base is the drain. The previous one had a rubber gasket that the pipe slid into. This one will be a glued-in bushing, so this will be considered a solid drain instead of a compression fit. But what we'll do now is look at our setup. Alright guys, this is our setup. So this was, before this was a left-hand tub, so the drain's on the left hand when you look at it. We have our diverter there. So for this bathroom, the toilet is here, and then the 3-inch, because there's no drop downstairs, the 3-inch goes to the flange in the same joist space. So there and there, based on the nails in the floor, are where the joists are. So I believe that the trap arm comes here, it comes over, and then over here is where it comes across. So the plan here will be to cut a hole in the floor in the middle, because this is a center drain, and then 245 it back, and then pick up our shower. We're going to take this out, we're going to eliminate that. We will fix the floor. I'm going to prefab the shower base, put the drain on before I go ahead and install it. So guys, this is a 5-foot tub, and we're going to replace it with a 5-foot shower base. So what we'll do now is material and tools. Alright guys, this is our materials list. So we have our shower base, clear silicone, a couple 1.5 45s, an 1.5 solid ABS trap, pipe, a 2 by 1.5 bushing, ABS glue, a shower drain, and then 1.5 deck screws. Guys, this is what we need for material for this job. So what we'll do now is the tools list. Alright, this is our tools list. So I have a skill saw extension cord, safety glasses, hand tools. I need a measuring tape, hammer, flathead, big channel locks, hacksaw, 2-foot level, 4-foot level, and then my cordless kit that also includes earplugs. Guys, this is what I need for tools for this job. So let's get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we need to measure off for a drain. So this is the back end of the base that'll go up against that wall. And then since it's a center drain, it doesn't matter which side that you measure off. So that is 16 inches to center. And then it's 30 inches to center. Alright, so we're going to measure 16 inches, which is right at the seam. And now we're going to measure 30 inches. So that is the center of our drain. So this here is about 4 1/4. The drain is going to sit. Alright, to make it easier to see, so our center mark is here, so I went 2 1/8 one way, 2 1/8 the other way, and then I used the drain as a guide. So guys, just line up the cross right in the middle. Now I'm going to cut a bigger hole than this. Guys, even if you have a hole saw, I don't suggest going just the minimum. Guys, you still need to get your hand into the ceiling to connect the trap arm, and the trap arm is running here. But now that I have this marked out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the drain onto the shower base so it has time to dry. Alright, so this is our cup drain, our shower drain without the grate on it. So the bottom end unscrews. We have a piece of cardboard here, a rubber gasket. So for this here, this little have silicone put on it, and then we're going to put it in here and then tighten up the nut from the back side. So guys, this is one thing that's extremely important. This was not on the other shower base, but it is on this one. This shower base has a thin, clear film that is tough to see. But if you don't pull the film off and you put the silicone on the film here, you're going to have a leak. So if you have a plastic film, make sure that you pull it back. Like I said, this can be tough to see. But with that out of the way now, what we'll do is we will silicone our drain in. Alright, so we have our drain, guys. Make sure that you clean off any dust, debris, or anything like that. So our clear silicone. Alright, so this is our bottom nut. This is 2" and our tub is 1.5". So we have our bushing. Guys, like I said, with the bushing, the stamp side will go on the outside. It goes like this. If you put it like this, there's a ring on the inside here that you're not going to be able to slide your pipe on. We'll glue the bushing in first. I should have probably done this before I did the silicone, but it's fine. And guys, any stickers, make sure that you remove it. That's what that white is. Push it on the floor to get it in. And then wipe off the excess glue. Alright, so you see a rib here and a rib here. So what I do is I will take a flathead screwdriver, hold it here, and then I will spin the nut on from the backside. So with the flathead, I'm going to hold the white part of the cup drain in place. Alright, so we have a nice ring of silicone all the way around. So wipe the silicone off. Now clean off the silicone with either a rag or a paper towel. And guys, do this right away. I mean within 5 minutes. Otherwise the silicone will start to skin over. And then always look to make sure it's centered all the way around. This looks a little bit low, so I'm going to tap the bottom end. So all I'm going to do is with my channel locks on the back side, I'm just going to tap the drain upward. And I think that should be good. That looks good. And then one last time, make sure that you clean off all the silicone. With the shower base prefab, I'm going to throw it off to the side. And now I'm going to cut out the old drain. Alright, so there's our trap there. Guys, keep in mind that the trap is still full of water and this is the ceiling. The last thing that you want to do is splash water into the ceiling. Alright, but with that cut and out of the way, now we need to make our hole for the drain. So we have a nail here, we have another nail here, which means right here, there's a joist. And it looks like where the seam, there's going to be a joist. So I need to cut this out here, but we're going to cut a square that is bigger. Now guys, one thing that you have to keep in mind is this plywood is more than likely 1/2 inch. So the depth on the skill saw needs to be set for slightly over 1/2 inch. Don't cut a couple inches deeper than you need to because you may hit a wire, pipe, or something else. So just cut what you need to get through the plywood. Okay, this is our skill saw. So if we move the guard back, you can see how much is exposed, and we don't want to cut that deep. That is 2.5 inches. And you can hit a wire or a pipe or something else that you can't see. So to adjust this guard, there's a wing nut here. Loosen off the wing nut, and now the guard will come down. So if the plywood is a 1/2 inch, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go about 5/8. So that's about 5/8 there. And guys, go to the very top of the teeth, and then once again this, tighten back up, give it a shake to make sure it's solid, and check one more time. Okay, so the depth of the blade is now 5/8. And guys, as always, make sure that the saw is unplugged. Alright, so I made a box all the way around. So all I did was I took my space square, I drew a line, and then I just flipped it over, and then I went all the way around. Guys, go a little bit bigger because the drain is going to be a little bit bigger. And then, like I said, here, there's a joist somewhere. I don't know where the joist is in relation to this line, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut around the square and then take out the couple pieces of plywood, because there's a seam right here. 2 pieces will come out. Alright guys, make sure that you have earplugs and safety glasses on. And now with the Sawzall, you can finish the corners. Alright, so this is our hole, and I want it being right on a joist. But now with our hole being made, what I'm going to do is I'll cut that off now. I'll grab the shower base, we'll throw it in, and then we're going to see what it looks like for our trap to swing. Alright, so with our trap arm there, the center of the drain's right on this seam. So if we hold our trap arm over the pipe, you can see that it's going to be around here. So what we can do is move the trap over and then swing it backwards so it'll line up. So something a little more looking like that is what this is going to need. Alright, so I cut a slit in the trap right above my finger. Guys, because this is drywall, make sure that you put a container underneath it and get the remaining water out of it. Alright, that is how much water we saved from going into the ceiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this, snap it on, and then I'll be able to take out my container water. And that is the water that we kept out of the ceiling. Alright, so before we grab our shower base, let's make sure that the floor is level. So it is slightly high on the right, but it's within reason. Same thing. And then same thing. So the good news is the floor is level. So what we'll do now is grab our shower base and put it in the space. Okay, so with our base in, it's tight on this side here. And then we can see that this furred out OSB strip here, I'm going to have to take this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this here. It's only been stapled on, so I'm going to pull it off. And then here lower down, I'm going to cut that, and that just to get the base in. And then we're going to see what we can do with this to make sure that the wall has a continuous edge all the way across after we're done. And here's a great example of what not to do. Here and here were 2 staple holes right in line with the pipe. I'm taking it that they didn't actually hit the pipe, but Guys, if you're going to be screwing, nailing, or stapling something into wood, make sure that you don't have anything that you can hit on the other side. Okay, so this pencil mark here is the edge of the pipe, the trap arm that's going this way. So what I want is the inside edge here to line up with this. So to figure this out, what I've done is here I'm just visualizing that this mark and then the edge here line up. Once I have that in, I'm going to make sure that this here and this lines up as well. So looking down, it looks to be somewhere in this range here. And then this is going to be the mark for the back of the trap arm here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure off of that stud there to the mark. And then once I pull the shower base out, we'll transfer that mark to the floor, and that's where I'm going to cut the trap arm. And then always make sure to clean off the burrs. Alright, so we're going to take our trap, our 90 portion of the trap that is. And then we're going to put it on. We'll level the trap. Alright, so that looks okay. So I have a pencil mark on the 90. And then the seam right here. I'm going to try to line up with my pencil mark. Alright, and now what I'll do is measure out to see where this is going to fit. So guys, one thing to keep in mind, the distance from the center of the drain to the side there is no longer 30 inches because we removed the scabbing, the OSB. So it is, the OSB is a ½ inch, so now we're going to go to 30.5 inches. Okay, so you can see the fitting. It lines up fairly well, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out the shower base. I'm going to glue the 90 on, and then I'm also going to glue the trap on. Alright, with our trap on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and then make a mark. Guys, once again, this is not the exact placement where it's going to be. It's only a rough idea. I'm going to level the 90 using my level. That's going to be the actual. But this line is meant just to get you close. So what I'm going to do now is we'll measure off the back 16. Oh, that's right where the seam is. And now I'm going to measure 30.5 because I removed the OSB. Alright, now I'm going to glue the trap in. And guys, in this case here, you can be fairly liberal with the glue. It's not going to affect anything like on a union trap. Alright guys, so I went off the very top of the trap here. This hub is 3/4 of an inch. And then for this here, I'm going to the very top up here. This here is probably about 1/8 of an inch, but guys, if you go to the very top up here, then you're gonna get a nice deep fit. It's better be slightly longer than shorter in this case. Alright, so I'm gonna measure this here. So put your level on it. Make sure that you are level all the way across. You can see that the right is slightly high, but that shouldn't be an issue. I have the 2 foot here. that is level, and then we put the level on that side, that is level. So this shower actually works out fairly well, where everything sits fairly level naturally. So guys, now is the time to take the measurement. I've already done it, it'll be 6 inches. Alright, now I have to glue the pipe and then the bushing and get the shower basin quickly. Alright, now I'm going to screw in the shower base. So I have a 4-foot level on the back. I have a 2-foot level on the left side. Guys, as a general rule of thumb, you're going to start on your diverter side because you want to suck it tight. That's level. That is level. Guys, I'm using 1.5-inch deck screws. They don't have to be deck screws, but that's what I have. And once again, screw it down until the acrylic, the flange flexes a little bit. You don't want to go too much. We're gonna check our level. We're good. We're good there. And we're good there. Guys, one thing to keep in mind, make sure that you wipe this this down. Get any dust, debris off it, otherwise it's gonna throw off your measurement. But with that done, the base is screwed in. Guys, on this side here, there's about a 1/4 inch of a gap. A 1/2 inch of drywall will kick this edge out all the way over the screws. Guys, once again, when you're putting your screws in, tighten these just until the flange flexes a little bit. Don't keep screwing it in because you will crack the acrylic. Otherwise, with the shower base now screwed in all the way around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. We're going to put water down the drain, assuming there's nothing leaking. I'll put the pieces back on, and that'll be it for this job. Alright guys, so we're going to test our drain. So splash water all the way around. Just do a nice, consistent flow of water. Alright, so besides testing the drain here, what we're also doing is filling our traps so we don't get sewer gas in. Unfortunately, the only way that we can find out if we have a leak is if we start to see wetness in the ceiling. Alright guys, so that concludes this project. So once again, the most technical part is getting the trap where the drain is. It can be difficult to measure off and see where things need to be, but I mean, I managed to do it. Guys, the key thing is that you have to measure off of something straight. If something isn't straight, it's just going to throw you out of whack all over the place. The time on this job, the time was about 2 hours. I mean, for the most part, I didn't run into any problems. But like I said, getting the trap set where you need it to be is going to be the most difficult part of this. If you put it in the wrong spot, you have a very limited amount of time to rip it out and change it before the glue dries. The cost of this job, the drain, the shower base, and the few screws, I'm going to take an educated guess, about $400. The shower base, I didn't supply, that was customer supplied, but I got the drain and then the silicone and the screws. But for the most part, I mean, the silicone screws, the drain are negligible. The cost is in the base itself. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope something here is going to help you on your project when you need to go ahead and do that. Guys, till next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.